G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Hey guys, it's the Black Critter Guy and welcome to another movie review, this time on G.I. Joe Retaliation. And today's review is going to be a spectacular one because I'm joined by a special guest and a fellow YouTuber himself, Thomas from TNShowbiz. What's up, man?
What up, everyone and subscribers? As you may or may not know, I'm Thomas from TNShowbiz and I'm here with the Black Critter Guy to talk about a film that's supposed to be a summer film, G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Now, the plot of G.I. Joe Retaliation follows the G.I. Joes, obviously, who are sent on a mission to go retrieve a nuclear warhead, but in turn get set up and nearly annihilated. The surviving Joes then gather together to come up with a plan to stop the now recently freed Cobra Commander and his henchmen who have taken over the White House and their weapon of mass destruction.
Well, like many people out there, I wasn't stoked for G.I. Joe Retaliation because it's a sequel to a piece of shit and it's directed by the director of this piece of shit. And does that surprise you?
Now, when I first heard they were making a sequel to G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra, I went, no. Because if anybody remembers G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra, that thing was an atrocity on wheels. It was shit. But seeing that none of the original cast minus Channing Tatum are in the film and Stephen Sommers is not directing it, I had a little faith that this one might be a little better. And is this movie a little better? Of course it's better than G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. A flying turd is more entertaining than G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra. Now, is a flying turd better than G.I. Joe Retaliation? That's where the question lies.
This movie was postponed because the studio wanted to improve this 3D conversion and I was like, this is just stupid. You know, I prefer to watch this movie in 2D, but I didn't. I went to see this movie in IMAX in 3D. Oh my god, yep, you know, that's right. I had a migraine-inducing, eye-gouging, and ear-stabbing theater experience of hell. I have to admit, Black Critic Guy, G.I. Joe Retaliation is better than The Rise of Cobra, and it's quite fun, but it's incredibly stupid. I think this movie is a Fast 5 try-hard.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't like this movie, except for a few things here and there. This movie was kind of dull and uninteresting, cliche, filled with plot holes, and I was just like, what the hell am I watching? But we'll get to the bad soon enough. Let's talk about the good. The best part of this movie is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's the best character in this entire film. You love him right off the bat. He kicks a lot of ass. He's very relatable, and you can tell that he really cares for all the members of his team. And he had great chemistry with Channing Tatum's character Duke, and believe it or not, I actually liked Channing Tatum's character in this movie. He was likable, he was funny, they had such great camaraderie and banter between each other. They felt like legitimate friends, and I thought had he been in the movie a little longer, I think I might have enjoyed this movie a little more. And in this movie, the G.I. Joes actually act as a team. They're not just a bunch of cartoon characters flying around in these metal suits like in the first movie. No, they felt more realistic, down to earth. They felt like a tactical team.
The great thing about G.I. Joe Retaliation is that it has less amount of CGI effects. And the CGI effects are better than those in The Rise of Cobra. Also, what I like from this movie are the action sequences. You know, they're not over the top amazing, but they're tolerable.
The action, for the most part, was well handled. You're not going to be bored watching any of the action scenes. In fact, that's the main reason you go to see this movie, the action scenes. And the action scenes, they're fun to watch. And we might as well just step into the things I didn't like about the movie. And the biggest problem that this movie has is the writing. Whoever wrote this script needs to go back to writing school because the dialogue is horrendous to hear. Not only is this movie full of terrible lines like, you know, they call it waterboarding, but I wasn't bored. But the movie's just chock full of cliches and numerous plot holes.
The story is simply nonsensical. And that's all I can say about the story, except that it has a silly political component. The script is dull, and the one-liners are dull and lame. I didn't even chuckle at the one-liners. I shook my head and I was like, no, that's not working.
As for the G.I. Joes, besides Roadblock, I really didn't give a shit about any of the other G.I. Joes. I mean, Lady Jane, she looks amazingly hot. But that's all about her character. She's amazingly hot, she's a tough girl, whatever. There's not much development to her character. And the other guy in the team, such a Debbie Downer, always pessimistic. He's always the first guy to say, oh, I don't know if we can do that, sir. I mean, it's an uphill battle. Maybe we're not gonna make it. Always putting everything down. He never says one positive thing in the entire movie. And honestly, he could have been replaced by Channing Tatum. It would have made the movie 10 times more interesting and 10 times more fun. This guy just dragged me down.
The movie lacks character development. You're probably arguing that the characters are not the important factors, but the thing is, it's a G.I. Joe movie. It needs character development at least. Also, I barely cared about the new protagonist in this movie. If you're listening right now, Joe, they're not the real American heroes. While the movie lacks character development, it also lacks the appearances of the big stars such as Bruce Willis and Channing Tatum. The only big stars who have the prominent roles and the longer appearances are Dwayne Johnson, Ray Park, and Storm Shadows. You know, I can't pronounce his name right, but I'm gonna call him Storm Shadows.
And lastly, I just didn't feel no looming threat in this movie. Yes, Cobra Commander is back, but he's only in the movie 3 times. Literally 3 times. Really, at the end of the film, the only thing he does is he walks into a building, and then the G.I. Joes come, then he walks out of a building, gets on a helicopter, flies away. I never felt like the Joes were down on their luck, they didn't make it, and the resolution to Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow's story was so anticlimactic. I was sitting there thinking, well, if you could have done that earlier, then well, why not do it? It just, it was handled poorly.
Overall, G.I. Joe Retaliation is better than its prequel, but it's a very, very stupid movie. If you can turn your brain off to watch a movie that has sheer silliness on every minute, you'll probably enjoy it. Is it worth a watch in IMAX 3D at a steep price? No. Like, watching this in Real D is okay because, you know, the 3D conversion is good. But, you know, I'd rather watch this movie in 2D. That's why I'm gonna give G.I. Joe Retaliation a 5 out of 10. What's your opinion, Black Critic Guy?
So overall, even though I really love The Rock's character and he kicked a lot of ass and the action scenes were very fun to watch, it doesn't change the fact that the story and writing was just terrible, full of cliches and plot holes, terrible lines. I didn't care about any of the other Joes at all. And the villains, they weren't menacing, they weren't threatening. Cobra Commander shows up 3 times in this film and he's not threatening. I didn't get threatened by his appearance or the fact that he was around anymore. He just felt like a figurehead. He didn't really do much. And by the end of the movie, it's just all forgettable. And that's why I'm gonna give this film a 2 out of 5 stars. It's an easily forgettable film. You don't have to go watch it. I mean, if you want a cheesy action movie, I would say go watch it. But I mean, you could go watch Olympus Has Fallen. Much better action movie. But anyway, what did you guys think of this film? Did you like it a lot? Or did you find it generic and boring and you couldn't get into any of the characters or the story? And let me know, what is your favorite Dwayne Johnson movie? Comment below. Let me know.
Well, that's the end of our reviews, but this is not the end of this video. I want to give a huge shout out to the Black Critic Guy for this awesome collaboration. That's right, I want to highly thank him for this awesome collaboration. He asked me if I wanted to collaborate with him, and I said, yeah, I can't wait to do this. He makes really entertaining reviews. He is cool, he is funny, and last but not least, he is charismatic. Also, we had fun making episode reviews of The Walking Dead. So yeah, he deserves respect. Please subscribe to both of our channels and you will not be disappointed. Hopefully we'll do the same thing in the future. Now, I'm out.
And I want to give a huge thank you to Thomas from TNShowbiz for being on this review with me. Thank you, man. It's so good to finally do a collaborative review with you. And we also do some collaborative episode reviews of The Walking Dead. I think we're going to do the final episode this Sunday, so be sure to tune in for that. And also tune in for my monthly live chat that happens at the end of every month. There's a lot of things I want to talk to you guys about. And be sure to check out TNShowbiz's channel. Link will be in the description below. Like his videos, subscribe to him. He's a really fun and entertaining guy. If you love watching people rage, he's the man to go to. But until then, if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and welcome to the Black Critic Guy. Like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'm Tony Wiley II from the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.